Okay, here we go. Good evening, guys. Good evening, and welcome to episode... I should look before I come on 5. Thank you very much. Episode 5. We're not even that far into it, and I still haven't kept track. So episode 5 of FPL Family for season 18-19. Guys, thank you for joining. FPL is back. Premier League is back. Look at the smile on my face. Liverpool winning. Good game week in FPL. What's not to like? What is not to like? You must be very happy with the Spurs result. What did you think?
Yeah, really pleased. Good start. Nice to see the big players back from the World Cup and playing mostly. Yeah, happy days. Liverpool, obviously.
Very happy, yes, very happy. And actually, you mentioned the point you made there about the big players coming back from the World Cup. There wasn't actually that many that were rested, was there? There was quite a lot of the big players coming back. I mean, KDB was rested, Lukaku benched, but they all got some minutes. Yeah. I saw a tweet out there just before I come on saying, was there actually anybody that missed out altogether? And outside of Lovren...
Kieran Trippier,
who were both, I think, injured anyway.
Injured from the World Cup still, yeah.
So no one really got a rest, a full 90 minutes rest. There was Lukaku, KDB and a few others. But these big players are coming back. They seem to be fit and ready to go. Kane, no one's getting Kane in their drafts because they're thinking he's not going to play in Game Week 1, yet here we are. Well, he's back.
You say nobody. Nobody in the big FPL community got Kane, but he's highly owned in the game.
Right. Yes, absolutely right.
So, there will be a lot of unhappy Kane owners out there.
No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So what we will do, guys, we will have a look at, this is our Game Week 1 review. So for those of you that are new to the stream, we've done all the season preview stuff, so go check out those videos on the YouTube channel. This is a Game Week 1 preview. Where should we start? I mean, we can talk about our teams. The reason we come at, or one of the downfalls, I guess, of coming live at 8 o'clock is that the game doesn't really update until a bit later in the stream. So we'll take a look at the leagues, we'll take a look at our game week ranks and stuff at the end of the stream where we assume, because I don't know if you noticed, the FPL towers seem to be a bit more on it actually this year with bonus points in particular.
Yeah.
Pretty snappy actually.
And actually the game, in terms of what I can see of my team, is up to date. It's the bonus points are added, final scores are there.
Just not overall game week rank and stuff.
Game week. Yeah. And last year that used to happen right at the end of our stream, didn't it? Sort of just before 9 o'clock we used to see update. So hopefully they might be a bit more on it with those things as well this season, and we'll get them a little bit earlier.
I think so. So hopefully you get that before the end of the stream. So we'll take a look at the leagues. We'll take a look at obviously the live streamers league as well.
Of course.
We'll be giving out a wooden spoon. So if you're sitting there with something like 30, 40 points or want to hear from you in the live stream, could you be a good candidate for the wooden spoon this game week? Let's have a look. I think we also need some sort of prize for most benched points. Because I don't know if you saw, you wouldn't have seen the tweets and stuff.
No, I've seen, because I did have a lot of messages solely to tell me about this in case I missed it.
One of our very, very popular regulars on here, FPL Jamal, who was excellent last year. Excellent game week rank. And again, I think he's had a pretty good game week this week. Could have been so much better. The bench looked amazing. Jamal, the bench looked amazing. But
he couldn't have done that if he'd have tried, could he?
No, absolutely not.
However, bench boosted.
However, what I will say is, and I took some solace in the Wan-Bissaka benching because I was in that bracket as well. I didn't have quite such a bench as Jamal, but I benched Wan-Bissaka. I get some solace in the fact that I'm on board one of the bandwagons already. He is bound to go up in price, if not tonight, then tomorrow. So we've got to think about that.
It's supposed to be tonight according to Fix.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So before we get on to our teams, because we can give you guys a look at our teams and how the points got on, if not the league update a bit later on. So we'll come to that. But first, I want to, by the magic of OBS... Oh, by the way, I did this. Guys, tell us if you like this. I put the dream team from the FPL website on the right-hand side there. Did you have many of those in your team?
Oh, I can't see.
Get those glasses on. Richarlison you had, definitely.
Richarlison I had...
McCarthy, 11. Check that out. Must have been some bonus points and some saves.
I think I might have only had Richarlison, actually.
Just Richarlison, okay. Callum Wilson as well.
Don't talk to me about Callum Wilson. I'm really angry with him. Wilson watches off. Why is he taking a penalty? That's Josh King's job.
Josh King owner, absolutely. So we've got to talk about
Wilson
that.
Watch is cancelled. Okay. I'm no longer interested in Callum Wilson.
Okay.
No, it's not really. We will still do Wilson Watch.
I think I saw something out there, guys, and tell me if I'm wrong. I think I saw something out there that said, if they win it, they take it. or something like that, and I think Callum Wilson won it, so he took the penalty.
Well, he shouldn't be taking any more, should he?
Was it if they win it, they don't take it? I don't know.
No,
I remember seeing
it.
something
he
out
won
there.
it, so he took it, I think.
So maybe if it's a win it, they take it.
Well, he shouldn't take any more, should he?
Well,
he missed it.
Absolutely.
Should be Josh King ever since.
We're going to come to the Bournemouth game a bit later on because we've got a lot to talk about, guys. I mean, we've got to wind our minds right back to Friday. It seems a long time ago, actually, to talk about Man United versus Leicester, but we've got to go there in just a second. And before we do that, we're going to switch over the OBS onto the screen that you're all very familiar with. So welcome, guys. Here's the usual screen.
Well, that's a bit better. Not so much of us now.
Not so much of us, which is always a good thing. And we're going to go to, if I can get my windows right, go to the live chat and say hi to some people. So Leo is in. Leo, how are you doing? I think he was first on, Leo.
On
the ball today, Leo. Very, very good. Lock Honkun, Aid is here. Aid, how are you doing? Dom J is here. JP43, Karthik, Jamal, the aforementioned Jamal Rice is here. 77 this week, so actually not to be sniffed at all. Still a very, very good score, 77, despite the benching of these players.
Ooh.
Joe Finley Batter is in. Must be very, very happy with that result.
Joe.
Very happy with that result. 2 goals for Pereira. We've got to talk about him.
I bet he had Pereira in his team,
Got to talk about him. It's still a rumour that you might be going to Torino, by the way, I read.
Or not now, surely.
Possibly. I mean, I think the manager came out, Javi Grazia said, we can't afford to lose this player before the end of August. And the weekend just showed how important Pereira is. Andrew's here, Andrew Yee. Hannah, how are you doing? She must be very happy with that Spurs result from the weekend. MU Fan TV, I guess equally happy from Friday night. MU Fan TV, we've just said. Shashank is here. Steve Smith is here. Ben Clark. Josh Telling. Shazza CR7HD is here. There's some great names on here, guys. Jonathan Sunil Moses is here. How you doing, Jonathan? Passa is here. Let's go up a little bit. Ryan Seacham is here. Notorious Nerd is here. Guys, all of you guys here. Bashelni's here. Bashelni, how you doing? Neil Kraskin, Firetog, Bill X. Guys, loads of you guys in Bench FPL. Brilliant.
Nice to have you all here.
Thank you all, guys, for joining. 139 watching already. 139. Guys, thank you for joining. We peaked out at something like 220, didn't we?
No,
something
it was
on
mad.
the last one. It was absolutely awesome. So, guys, get onto Twitter. Retweet my tweet about the stream is live. We want to get as many people in here as we can. And you also had a bit of a result on Instagram, did you not? Sorry.
What you were going to say.
You haven't got to look like that every time I come to ask you a question.
Panic. Went over 600.
Very good on the old Instagram.
It literally has taken me a year to get to 500, and in 2 weeks I've gone from 500 to 600. So
loving that.
Loving it. Thank you very much,
So
everybody.
thank you for us if you follow us on Instagram at FPLFamily.
And the Facebook page, of course, as well.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
imagine the Facebook. Any content on there yet?
Yeah, I've been posting.
There is. Okay, very good.
I have been posting some stuff.
Very good.
I tend to there's trouble with having a new social media is that I tend to focus on Instagram, and Instagram's that much more focused.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
got a lot to do.
So,
How many? Not followers is it on Facebook? How many page likes have you got on Facebook?
I think it's like 78 or something.
Oh,
so
very
it's not
good.
bad.
All right, very good. I'm not really a Facebooky person, so I don't really know
Given we've
about
only been up there for 4 days, I don't think it's too bad.
78, very, very good indeed. So, guys, welcome to FPL Family. This is, as I mentioned before, Season 2, Episode 5. We're going to look at and start with Sam's team. So let's go to, where are we? Here.
It's all right.
So, as you guys can see, Game Week ranks not yet updated. Overall ranks not yet updated, I don't think. Although, if I hit refresh, is this going to go crazy? Hopefully not. Come on, you can refresh.
Because your computer is going to explode.
You can hear it, can't you? That's the one thing about having a new microphone. I noticed that on the last stream. Really picks up our voices lovely, but also picks up my diesel-fueled laptop from the Middle Ages that's kicking out a really serious lot of heat at the back. So guys, apologies for any background noise from the laptop. So the Game Week rank is still not updated, but 78. Very good 78. So how are you feeling about that?
Do you know what? That's my best ever week 1 score.
Is it really?
Yeah, I always have a terrible start to the season. I'm not sure whether this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing moving forward, but this is my best start to the season.
Ederson 8?
Yes.
He got 8.
Because he got BAPS and save points.
No, he didn't get bonus points.
Yeah,
bonus point for Ederson? How does he get a bonus point?
Well, in the same way that Alisson did.
Alisson got a bonus point as well. Is there something in this then? Is there something in the fact that these keepers, they can distribute passes and their pass completion rate is good? Well, I know Ederson made a few saves as well, so that's going to help, obviously.
Yeah, Hennessy got bonus points this week. McCarthy got bonus points this week. There was lots of keeper bonus points, so yeah, really interesting.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased.
Very good. Simon is saying 106 points. Yeah. Simon, that is absolutely brilliant.
Somebody said that to me on Instagram, over 100 this week. I'm quite pleased with the 78. What's fascinating for me this week is how little my front line did. So I was expecting good things from the likes of King and Aguero. Obviously, those two just didn't perform for me. And it wasn't that they didn't perform in terms of their play on the pitch. Just from a fantasy point of view, it didn't go well. What's amazing from game week 1 is how many points are coming out of the defence this week. It's just unbelievable. Defenders all over the place scoring ridiculous points.
Yeah, Van Aanholt, Robertson, Mendy, who we're going to come to later on.
Alonso. Nobody's been talking about Alonso.
With a cheeky 11-pointer, right? And actually, we've got to come to the Chelsea game a bit later. We're going to talk about that. Without causing too much of a fuss, went about their business very, very effectively, Chelsea, at the weekend.
Yeah, Vertonghen, Sanchez, so many defenders doing really well this week. And actually, it has...
PVA, your man doing bits.
Of course, doing bits.
Wan-Bissaka. Here we go.
There's so many of them. Luke Shaw, there's another one.
Yes.
Points all over the shop for defenders this week, and it's made it really interesting up front. And I said to you, didn't I, during I can't remember whether it was the Liverpool or the Man City game now, what will be really interesting is to see what happens off the back of game week 1 because people will suddenly go, ooh, like Aguero did nothing, let's transfer him out and get somebody else instead. And it feels to me a little bit like there's no need to panic on people like Aguero. He's going to come good. He could have scored a couple today, should have had a couple today. Firmino should have had it missed at City, he should have had a goal today.
But it's going to be interesting to see where the game week 2 bandwagons are actually. And that's a nice segue into the polls. So guys, go top right hand corner of your screen and hit the little eye, the little white eye up there. And we've got 2 polls tonight. One is how many points you've got. So we're going to come at the end of the stream and have a look at the points and see where everybody is. But we're also, I've got a question about game week 2 bandwagon. So I've got Richarlison, Mendy, Neves, Pereira and Pogba. Probably some ones in there I've missed. I mean, Wan-Bissaka was obviously a one, but I think he feels like a bit of a no-brainer rather than a bandwagon. I think you just got to get on him straight away. So, guys, if I've...
Hodgson's comments after the game.
Absolutely. So, guys, if I've missed anybody in that 5 there, Richarlison, Mendy, Neves, Pereira, Pogba, let me know in the live stream. Let me know who your game week 2 bandwagon is for game week 2. Who are you getting on? So, go on, I interrupted you there. So, let's talk more about your midfield.
So midfield... Salah, obviously, he was guaranteed a goal, wasn't he, really? Let's be honest. Absolutely delighted with the Richarlison pick. I nearly didn't go Richarlison, as you well know.
Yes. And I almost went Siggy, didn't you, as well? Siggy was on your radar. Jota as well?
It came down to a choice between Jota and Richarlison. Now, Jota did get an assist, and I would have been all right with that. But Richarlison absolutely nailed it. Looked really good. Little bit of a... There was a lot of rumour about how bad his injury was, but then he stood up and did an interview at the end of the match. So I think it's...
Yeah, what do you make of that, guys? I mean, Richarlison, for me, he walked off the pitch. Always a good sign. Yeah. Always a good sign, putting weight on the leg that was injured.
And did the interview with...
Did his interview...
BT or Sky? I can't remember now.
I think it was BT, but he didn't seem to be in too much pain.
No.
Certainly not... I was seeing all sorts of things on Twitter about he's done his cruciate ligament and stuff. I can't imagine that's the case. No guy is going to do an interview... He's going to go to the he's going to go to the hospital. He's going to go to the flipping hospital, isn't he? He's not going to go and do an interview if he's got an ACL. So
I'm not too worried about Richarlison. I don't feel that I need to do anything about that, really. Eriksen, I was disappointed with Eriksen, particularly the price bracket that he's in and the others performing.
Okay. But patience with Eriksen and Spurs, though. I think unusual source of points. Dele Alli, clearly that's not unusual. But Sanchez, Vertonghen, nothing for Davies, nothing for Kane. Aurier assist. That's unusual from a Spurs perspective. But you're not going to dump a Spurs player before Fulham at home, are you?
Oh gosh, no. I think for me, and I said this all last season, with the Spurs midfield, you have to pick one and stick for a while. There's no point in this toing and froing because it's all too easy at the end of game week 1 to go, right, that's it, Eriksen didn't perform, I'll get in Dele. I don't see the value in that. I don't see the point in doing that. It could easily be the other way around in the next game. Okay,
let's go to a couple of comments in the live chat. So guys, let's hear from you. So Karthik is saying, "What's a bandwagon?" So absolutely, we need to.
Oh yeah, we need to
clarify that. For everyone in the even if you're in the UK, you might not understand what bandwagon is. So bandwagon, Karthik, effectively, all the players that have done well this week. It's kind of a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to just then do that. Everyone just sort of suddenly transfers him in on the back of one particularly good game week performance, right? That's a bandwagon. What typically happens is everyone gets on that bandwagon, that particular player goes up in price, and then they maybe don't perform the week after. And whoever performs then in game week 2 is the next bandwagon. There's typically a different bandwagon every week, isn't it? So that's what a bandwagon is. It's when everyone dives on one particular player.
And it tends to run quite high at the beginning of the season, these bandwagons, because all of those 3 million players that are playing the game, they're all playing the game. Whereas what happens as the season goes on is people will stop playing the game properly, and they'll become dead teams, and then the bandwagons aren't quite as they don't have quite as much impact in changing the value of the player.
So let's. You guys are saying Bench FPL is saying if you have Eriksen, you hold. He's a season keeper.
I agree.
I tend to be with you on that for now. Notorious Nerd. Wan-Bissaka is a bandwagon and will probably get minus points next week. You never know. I mean, they've got to play Liverpool next.
The only thing I would say about Wan-Bissaka, because my strategy is always, if possible, at the end of game week 1 to hold transfer, because I feel like you never really get a full understanding of the teams until the end of game week 2, ideally even game week 3.
Sure.
But for me, Bednarik didn't play at Southampton today, and that's a worry, because he's obviously my 4 million defender. I don't want him to drop to 3.9, so I've got to keep an eye on him. With Wan-Bissaka going up and Hodgson's comments, I think Wan-Bissaka is going to be a bandwagon I do get on, but only because I don't expect him to get 12 points every week. But I do expect him to play. And
okay, well, hold that thought, because we're going to talk about Fulham and Palace. We need to get stuck into the games in a second. Let's just finish up with your forward line. Not that I think there's too much to discuss on that forward line, other than, are you thinking of any changes? Are there any bandwagons there that you want to get on?
Not for now.
It was a weird week, wasn't it, for the forwards? Particularly the heavy hitter forwards, the expensive forwards didn't really come into the game, did they?
No, and I wouldn't. I've said before, I'm not going to get on Kane until after August. I can't, not with the August thing going. Even with Fulham next week. He's got
to score next week.
Well, let's see. I mean, it's the game at Wembley, isn't it, next week? So let's see. I think, for me, Aguero, I'm not getting off Aguero on the basis that he didn't score this game week. That's ridiculous. He did look a little bit lacking sharpness, was my opinion. I mean, there was a one-on-one with Cech, and I mean, you can't really. I mean, Czech's good save by Cech, isn't it? Absolutely. Or should have passed to KDB.
As the ball went through, I think I sat on the sofa next to you and I just went, put your house on him. I was just like, he will score that, no question. And he didn't. I was just like, one-on-one, Aguero. It's just 99 times out of 100 that goes in. But
I just don't think. I mean, I looked today. So you look at those around you. If you've got Aguero, you look at the people that you could have in replacement for him. Well, Aubameyang did nothing.
Got to go to Chelsea next.
Kane did nothing. Morata did nothing.
Be careful. Be careful with these, because Morata did actually play pretty well. Look, Chelsea do look good.
I'm not talking about them in terms of their actual play, because I don't think Aguero played badly. I don't think Kane played badly. I don't think Aubameyang played badly. But they didn't score any points. Yeah. So for me, from an FPL point of view, I'm not jumping off Aguero, because there's nobody else that's looking any better than him. They all looked fine. So I'm just going to stick. I'm going to see where I am.
Well, surely that's surely in your mind, you've got to think, well, you've got to look at the performances then, rather than just the FPL points. You've got to look at the performance, the underlying stats. For example, Christian Eriksen, 100% I'm keeping. No FPL points this week. Look at the underlying stats. 6 chances created. Heat maps all over the final third. Yeah. Getting into dangerous positions on corners. Fulham at home next. There's points coming for Christian Eriksen, no doubt about it.
I agree. For me, it's too soon to get off people like Aguero. You don't get on Aguero and get off of him in one game week.
Not before Huddersfield at home.
No, you just don't. The only one that I would be contemplating getting off, and it wouldn't be through any fault of his own, would be Josh King if I want to free up some money elsewhere. Okay. But otherwise, I'm fairly happy with them, actually.
What do Bournemouth's fixtures look like? Cardiff at home?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's what it just played. West Ham away, Everton at home, Chelsea and then Leicester. So
they're fine, their fixtures. So I'm not in any hurry to get off any of them. The only one I'm thinking about is Bednarik, and that's only because he didn't play. Southampton fans, I'd be interested to know whether you think he might get a game next week. But then Southampton kept a clean sheet today, and they seem to play well defensively. So I can't see them changing, so he's maybe one for.
So Ben Clark in the chat is saying confident enough to captain him. So I think what he's saying is
Aguero.
Are you confident enough to captain Aguero at home to Huddersfield, or is it back on Salah with Palace away?
Oh, what an interesting question that is. Let me think about that, Ben. I'll come back to you.
That's not only an end of stream question, that's a midweek.
Wow.
That's a game week 2 preview question, Ben. But very, very good. I like that.
I hadn't thought about that, but Ben, I'll try and come up with something before the end.
Rasta Fried Rice, which is one of the greatest names ever. Rasta Fried Rice, hello, good evening. He is saying, where's it gone? Should I let go of Lucas Moura?
No.
In a word, no.
No.
All right, let's get into...
I'll tell you why when we get to Spurs.
Absolutely. So let's get into my team. 87 points, pretty solid performance. Reasonably happy with that. I think you and I were going to be more or less the same sort of points until
Mendy happened.
Until Mendy to Silva, which was basically, an absolutely brilliant FPL moment for me in Game Week 1. Absolutely loved that. That was brilliant. Obviously very happy with Richarlison. Could I have asked for a bit more from Firmino? Yeah. But again, I think he looked pretty good.
I think Liverpool look really good. I think Liverpool look really good.
It was one of those where, if I didn't have Firmino, we can say this about a lot of players, and a lot of the Twitter community said this about a lot of players over the summer. I've had this guy, I've had that guy, I've had him in drafts. I had Mane for quite a while, clearly, and that would have been nice to have Salah and Mane. And in the end, I thought there was a bit more balance in my side by going Firmino, particularly when the Bernardo Silva news came out, and I also quite like Eriksen, etc. So, yeah, it's a shame that I didn't have Mane, but still very happy with Robertson. I was kind of happy after Saturday, actually, to see the Foster, the Watford and the Bournemouth clean sheets kick in. So very happy with that. Yeah. So a couple of 6 pointers there.
Particularly as you only got Cook, right, to cover what was going on elsewhere. Lots of people with Bournemouth defenders.
Yes, because Steve Cook would have been Tompkins.
Yeah.
I had Tompkins for quite a while, who I think would have returned the same points.
Same
actually.
Points, yeah.
But now that I've got Wan-Bissaka, clearly first subs, very annoying to say the least. But
you don't need Wan-Bissaka and Tompkins, really.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so, and I'm pretty happy to be going in with Wan-Bissaka as my Palace coverage. Now, I know he's 4.0, but he is no longer, in my opinion, bench fodder. He is looking very, very good. Looks pretty nailed on from what Hodgson is saying.
But you won't.
Very attacking. Looks good.
But you'll bench him again on Monday night, won't you?
Probably. Probably, yes. Probably. Against Liverpool. I think I probably will.
Now, talk to me about Bernardo Silva, though, because...
Yeah.
I honestly thought he was about to get subs. And then not only did he not get subs from Mahrez, he popped up with a worldie. So, but are you... I mean, he's going to play again surely next week on the back of his performance today.
I think he's hard to drop right now. Yeah, and I think.
But then KDB and Sané not playing today. Whose place are they?
So listen, this is we will sit here for 5 or 10 minutes every Sunday on FPL Family and talk about the Pep Roulette if you want.
Worry.
But you have to buy a ticket and just hope for the best. Now, in my opinion, Aguero is a good ticket to have over the next 6 game weeks.
Yeah.
He's a good ticket. Pep has come out a couple of times and said that the 2 up top is his preferred. Yeah. And it feels like Aguero is a good one to have, despite the price. Now, the one I really like the look of, who looks reasonably undroppable, is Sterling.
I agree.
This is a really obvious thing to say because he's 11 million, but is it worth that extra outlay for a bit of security? Now, from my perspective, Bernardo Silva is 7.5, so I've got to find 3.5 million.
It's so
it's just not happening, is it?
The thing is, I think with your Mendy pick, that's gone super well, and I think he's
very happy with Mendy. He's
looking nailed on as well. So I just with Bernardo Silva, I didn't get him on the basis that I just didn't quite trust the Pep Roulette in the middle, and there's so many good players, and you look at it today, watching that game, I looked at Sterling and thought, as I said weeks ago, you are the one to have in that midfield.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
it's just so expensive.
They all could score. That's the thing. You take Bernardo Silva out. I think he's made enough of a case for Pep to keep him. But listen, we've got
more of a case than Mahrez, I would have said.
Yeah, although I didn't think Mahrez looked too bad.
I'm not saying he was bad, but he didn't do anything, so maybe that was Pep's excuse for a switch.
Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying. Mendy was playing like a CM and attacking the left backs.
He was great
Eric Lord.
today.
Yes, he was very good. Eric Lord, everybody should buy Mendy. Yes, I think he looks like a very, very good option if you've not got him already. Sell Aguero at your peril, Benster 1973 is saying, I think you're spot on about that. Karthik is saying, talk about Sanchez. We will absolutely come to the games in just a second. We're just going to finish reviewing our teams. Luke Walkinshaw is here, by the way. Luke, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Mr. Graphics.
And thank you for doing us our graphics for this evening.
I particularly like this one, Luke.
Josh Telling is saying Bernardo Silva with a couple of decent emojis. So he's obviously very happy with the 8-pointer there from Bernardo Silva. Let's talk about... So we've got to get into the games in 2 seconds. Anything else from my team I want to talk about? Not really. I don't feel like there's a massive necessary transfer to do there right now. I don't know. I don't feel like there is.
I look at that and think that's ideal for a rolling transfer.
Lock on Kun, are you keeping Kearney? He's the only one potentially, but then when you start the season with someone like Kearney, you don't just get off him straight away. You got to give him more than a week, haven't you? And I know it's Spurs next, but I think you've got to give the kid a chance. The one reason I might change him though is that I really like the look of Ruben Neves, and we're going to come to him a bit later.
Fixtures for
yes,
Neves.
I know, absolutely. So there's our teams. We're going to revisit those very, very briefly at the end of the stream when we do polls. We're going to do leagues. We're going to see how the game week ranks look and all that sort of stuff, and we'll be giving out, guys, the FPL family wooden spoon that you have here. We're going to get the inaugural. What's that? Inaugural? Is that how you say it? Inaugural. The first winner of the FPL family wooden spoon is going to be announced. We're going to go to the Streamers and Bloggers League. See who's at the bottom because they will be rock bottom right now, and we're going to give them a wooden spoon. So
they can decide if they want it signed or not.
So let's talk about these games. Now I think I've gone to the wrong website here because if I click this, what am I going to get? A match report probably. I don't want that. Oh, I don't really want that.
Yeah, that's it. You've got
but I want the fantasy site so that I can get the
we'll go back into your team and get it that way.
I could do that, couldn't I? Let's do that.
Go into your team.
Go in here. Go down. Yeah, just scroll down. Right, cast your minds back, guys. Cast your minds back because it's been a while, isn't it? Friday seems like a long time ago.
There's been a lot of defensive points since Friday night.
It feels like a long time ago. Give me your thoughts on Manchester United 2, Leicester 1. I want to hear about people like Luke Shaw. I want to hear about Pogba, who not 2 weeks ago has won a World Cup, had absolutely no pre-season and had a fantastic game, I thought, for Manchester United in the middle of the field. And I'd like to talk about Leicester's secret weapon, Maddison, probably a not-so-secret weapon now. Looked very, very good indeed.
I agree.
A pretty good player. So what are your initial thoughts on that game, if you can remember that far back?
My initial thoughts, well, let's start with Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, I think we all kind of agreed at the beginning of the season, just before going into Game Week 1, that Luke Shaw was a good pick for Game Week 1. He was going to play.
Yet there was doubts about Ashley Young and his starting position.
And all of that kind of stuff. But we also kind of were I was very wary, because Luke Shaw was one I really contemplated back and forth on just towards the end of, just before the deadline closed. And because I was really concerned that Luke Shaw was a problem waiting to happen in terms of Ashley Young was going to come back and his place would be lost. Actually, what we saw from Luke Shaw was a great performance. I thought he played really well on Friday night.
He looked totally different. And one of the comments on here was that he looks a different player. I think you're absolutely right. He looked fitter, he looked leaner, he was getting up and down the line. He covered, I saw in the statistics after the game, 10.6 kilometres that game. Something
Goodness
like
me,
that.
at least turned into Statman tonight.
So he did, it's because I've been watching Match of the Day. You know, it's like Match of the Day and Sky are my saviours. So he covered something like 10.6, did a ton of decent passes and chances created. Obviously, the goal, and the United fans, I'm sure, will forgive me for saying this with my Liverpool glasses on a little bit. A bit lucky, a bit
harsh.
No, that first touch.
Bit harsh.
He looks like Pele. It comes to him and he sort of like miscontrols it and it goes over the defender's head. And the finish is very, very good. But to be fair to him, he was in the right place at the right time.
And what I will say about him is that what was really interesting was listening to him in the post-match interview that he did, because he was talking about how it actually really hurt him not going to the World Cup, and he's worked really hard while the World Cup's been on.
Good, so he's got some motivation.
Boost his fitness, and it's motivated him, and he really wants to play for England, and he wants to play for his team, and he doesn't want Ashley Young to walk back in and take his place. And there was a real kind of desire in what he was saying, and you saw that in him on the pitch on Friday night.
So I think he's going to be a bit of a bandwagon ahead of Game Week 2. Is he going to be in your side?
No, he's not going to be in my side. Not because because this is Mourinho we're talking about, and I'm still not sure what Mourinho will do in terms of Ashley Young is a great player. So who's going to get the nod?
Ashley Young is a great player.
Yes.
That's a statement. He's a good player.
I think so. But he plays well for United, doesn't he? And I'm not sure. I'm just still not sure with Mourinho. And he takes one bad moment and Mourinho will switch him out again.
Okay, give me your views on Alexis Sanchez as well then. So the guys are saying on the stream, and I think I need to find the comment that was made by, I think, Aid a second ago. Lock on Kunis saying Alexis got 0 shots on goal and got a crazy stroke fake assist. It wasn't an assist. It was a funny one, wasn't it? I mean, there was a lot on Twitter about, it was funny, 3 minutes in, literally, to the new season, and there's drama about the ball ricocheting off the guy's arm. Was it an assist?
No.
It wasn't for me, I must admit.
It's not an assist. It's a penalty, but it's not an assist. So Pogba getting the penalty, fine. I'm fine with that.
Oh, it is a penalty. Yeah, it does hit his arm,
Sanchez
but it's the
getting
FPL
the
element.
assist. No. That's ridiculous.
Okay. So Sanchez then. So lost the ball a lot.
Yep.
I saw some of the stats. Did misplaced passes, 0 shots on goal, an iffy assist. What did you make of him? Do you think he's worthy of investment at 10.5?
In short, no.
No, I don't think he is.
Because
not yet. Anyway, not yet.
At 10.5, you look at the midfielders that you could have in that price bracket.
Hazard 10.5, KDB, Sterling.
Even Sterling,
yes,
I know you've got to add 0.5 to get to Sterling, but there are a lot of lesser priced players that I looked at over the course of the weekend and thought, you are a better FPL pick than Sanchez.
And actually, MU Fan TV is saying Mane and a million looks a lot better than Sanchez.
Totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think... Look, Sanchez is Sanchez. At some stage, he's going to come good, but... It just doesn't feel like now is the time to get on Sanchez.
And Pogba, is he now the main penalty taker at United?
Well,
you heard anything in the press about him being the main man?
He talked about it, didn't he? He talked about everyone was expecting it to be.
There was a lot of talking between the two, actually.
Sanchez.
Almost like Pogba was pulling rank a little bit because he was the captain. He's also way taller than Sanchez, so he's probably quite intimidating for the little Chilean.
Well, Pogba was saying that there isn't a set penalty taker at United this season. If they want to take it, they'll put forward their case and they take it.
Fair enough.
So
right, fair enough. That doesn't make it any easier for us from an FPL perspective.
But Pogba felt strongly about it. What was really interesting for me is not a week ago we were talking about how Pogba is not a fantasy asset because he possibly might go off to Barcelona and where's his head at, and he's only just come back from the World Cup. He looked good. Okay,
and talk to me about Maddison then from Leicester.
I really liked the look of him.
Looked good, didn't he? Very good.
Yeah, and I think with Leicester in that game, you have to kind of... It's difficult, right? Because their first game was on a Friday night against United. It's not an easy game to play. So when you look at teams that have played a really difficult opponent, you have to kind of, and they've lost, you have to kind of look at the players individually and think, well, in another game, and Leicester have got some nicer fixtures coming up. For me, Maddison looked like he could be a really interesting fantasy pick.
Couple of shots on target as well. I remember one particular save from De Gea. Shock. Dave saves in action again. From a Maddison shot, could easily, any other goalkeeper probably doesn't save that. So on corners, I think took a couple of set pieces. He is the new Mahrez, is he not? At 6'5", you've got to have a look. I think
so, and I think obviously Vardy got a rest at the beginning, didn't he? He came on. So when Leicester are back up playing their full strength team, if you like, and Maddison's had a bit more time to bed in, I think Maddison has got real potential as an FPL asset.
Okay, Fozzie B is saying Maddison, a wait and see for me. Yeah,
he's on the radar for sure.
I think I'm with you there, Fozzie. Spencer Lee, good evening, Spencer. He's saying Maddison looked great. Gray too. Gray's one to have a look at, absolutely. And they will want to bounce back. I mean, they're home in their next game too. I should know this, but I don't. It's Leicester against Wolves at home. Now, Wolves, we know, as we've seen, like to attack, and Leicester like to counter-attack, as we saw in the Champions season. So that could work for them. Someone like Gray with some pace in behind, because I thought that they play on the same side, but in the Wolves game, Doherty looked particularly attacking actually on that side. So if Gray can find a bit of space in behind, who knows? Spencer Lee, I like that. That's a pretty good shout there for Damari next week. So
I certainly didn't think it was. I certainly, watching that game, didn't think don't get Leicester assets. In fact, quite the opposite.
Okay, so let's have a word then against. So that's United and Leicester. Let's talk about your team then, Spurs. What did you make of that 2-1 result then on Saturday lunchtime? How do you reflect on that?
Well, we never really play very well at Newcastle. We always have moments of what can only be described as stupidity. So I wasn't surprised that we didn't keep a clean sheet. I didn't think we would keep a clean sheet going into that game.
Was that a moment of stupidity? I thought it was a good header by Hosselu, to be fair.
Oh, I'm not talking about that particular goal. I thought that was a good goal, but we nearly threw it away a few times, didn't we?
Your man Rondon hitting the bar was a real moment in the living room, guys. I can tell you right now, that was a very
Rondon and I were nearly no longer friends.
Very much a pivotal FPL family moment. That was.
What I felt was really interesting from an FPL point of view about Spurs was where the points came from. Now, to have your points coming out of defence for Spurs isn't actually any great surprise, really. We often have points for our wing backs, particularly Trippier and Davis, but to have them coming from Vertonghen, Sanchez and Aurier,
Well, I noticed Vertonghen's going for the golden boot.
He is going for the golden boot.
See that on social media?
He is. And Harry Kane is not happy about it. If you look at the comments, Harry Kane's got on Vertonghen. Okay. But yeah, so from that point of view, it was good. I was pleased to see Dele back in the action. I thought at the beginning of the game, Dele looked a bit laboured, actually, like he needed a break. But he came good as the game went on. So
fantastic ball from Oreo, wasn't it? Fantastic assist for Dele's header. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think from a Spurs point of view, I was pleased. I was pleased with the way the team played, and I do want to go back to who was it who asked me about Lucas Moura. I personally thought that Lucas Moura had a good game. Obviously, he didn't score any fancy points. He was in that Eriksen camp. But if you watched his movement and where he was...
Very direct, wasn't he?
He's quick very fast, very quick. He seemed to... Even though he didn't score any fancy points this week, he picked up from where he left off in terms of pre-season. Now, with Sonny going off to the Asia Games, I would expect to see Lucas Moura again over the next few weeks.
But Lamella, what's going on with Lamella?
Lamella's still injured, and he's not back in training. Harry Winks is back in training now.
So Bench FPL is saying, will Moura take Son's place? You're saying yes. You think that's going to happen?
I do, because...
And when does Son come back from the Asia Games? How many weeks?
September, 4... Well, it depends on, of course, how far they get. But I think it's about 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Okay.
So for me, Lucas Moura is a good long-run player because, Lamella's injured. He's not back in training yet, so there's no risk from him there. He seems to be enjoying Pochettino playing Lucas in a more attacking position, almost not quite next to Kane, but up top with Kane.
Okay.
I definitely wouldn't get off Lucas Moura. If you're on him, I think there is returns coming.
Okay, so Josh is saying Moura played well and often. He looked very good, flooded the box a lot. Then equally, Aid is saying, I don't like the look of...
he's an Arsenal fan.
I don't like the look of Moura. I'd rather get Richie or Mkhitaryan, which is very interesting given how Mkhitaryan played today, Aid. So we'll come to the Arsenal game a bit later on.
Arsenal blinkers on there. Richie, maybe.
Will Hugol, so Will, thank you for joining this evening. He says, is Moura on any set pieces, Sam? It's Eriksen mostly.
It's mostly Eriksen, free kicks and corners. He has taken a couple in the past, but I would expect to just see him. I think you'll get assists out of Moura. I would expect.
Okay. Listen, we've got to move on from Spurs. We could talk more about that game, and Newcastle, I thought, actually didn't play that badly based on the stuff that's going on at St James's Park at the moment. Some of the unrest. Rondon come on and looked quite good. Hosselu took his goal well. I thought Matt Ritchie was kind of shoot on sight, which is not great if you're a Newcastle fan and he's constantly missing. But from an FPL perspective, you want players that are going to be selfish and shoot on sight. So Ritchie didn't look too bad an option.
Yeah, they were the three I thought. Hosselu, Rondon. I can't believe we're still talking about Rondon. And Ritchie. I thought those three actually looked all right, but I don't know about Newcastle.
And Fozzie B says Kennedy looked all right. That's true. He got kicked about a lot, didn't he? Spurs are a dirty side, aren't they?
Excuse me?
They're a dirty side. Spurs.
How very dare you?
Took your glasses off and everything.
Throw my glasses down in disgust.
MU Fan TV, Hosselu at 5 million. Oh, well, let's wait and see.
Hosselu was, if you remember, the player I nearly got when I got Josh King. I thought he was 5.5 actually.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't think we've got time necessarily to go through all these games one by one, but I do want to talk about Fulham versus Palace because a hell of a lot going on in that game. Now, I thought that Fulham actually played pretty well that game. If you look at some of the chances created, I think they had something like 6 shots on target. Mm-hmm. Hennessy had a very, very good game. That was supported by comments by Roy Hodgson after the game saying that Hennessy did play very well. I forget the exact comment, but it was words to the effect of it was kind of like Hennessy's shirt to lose. And I know that he's bought a new keeper, Roy Hodgson, this Gaeta guy, however you pronounce it, was on the bench at the weekend and he played Hennessy, and a lot of FPL managers were like, well, why has he done that? Just bought this new keeper. Well, Hennessy absolutely reacted, had a very, very good game, kept Mitrovic out a few times. So despite Fulham not getting off the mark there at home to Palace, and I expected them to, that's why I benched Wan-Bissaka, I expected Fulham to get a goal from somewhere. They didn't look too bad, Fulham. They didn't look too bad. And they've got to go to Spurs next, which is very difficult. So for now, I don't think we need to necessarily talk too much about their assets. But from a Palace perspective, there is a hell of a lot to talk about. So very quickly, how do we summarise what went on with Roy Hodgson's team outside of Wan-Bissaka, who for me now is an absolute is a gift. Is an absolute gift in the game. He was as attacking as Patrick Van Aanholt on the other side. That is clearly Hodgson's mentality for that Palace team. And Jamal, if you're on, let us know what you think about the new mentality, this style that Hodgson's brought to the team. Certainly in the latter half of last season, as well as it seems, they're picking up from where they left off this season. Wan-Bissaka 4.0, pretty attacking, got a pretty good relationship down that side with Schlupp by the looks of it, because Schlupp scored the goal. So what's not to like about Palace right now? So many options, so little time.
What's not to like about them is that they've got Liverpool next.
Trust you to rain on my parade.
Well, no, that's why. Look, I've got to be honest, I thought Palace looked good. I've got PVA. I'm really happy to have PVA. I thought he was great.
Yes.
I thought Zaha looked good. Hold the line on Benteke. I'm not sure about him at the moment. But Schlupp, like you say, Wan-Bissaka, there was a lot of really good stuff going on at Palace at the moment. But they've got Liverpool next. So it's difficult, right? Because for me, having watched Liverpool today, Palace are not going to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. They're not going to win that game.
It's a bogey. So the guys are saying Palace are Liverpool's bogey team. That's absolutely
it might
fair.
Be the case.
Absolutely fair.
It might be the case, but Liverpool are going to win that game.
From what I saw of that Palace team today, and we've just mentioned it clearly, this kind of attacking mentality from the
Suits
fullbacks.
you.
I think that suits Mane and Salah. Salah in particular getting some space in behind the likes of PVA and whoever else is on that side. So I think we'll get some joy there. I think.
So what I'm saying is, I totally agree with what you're saying about Palace players. I totally agree that they will make great FPL assets this season, but wait till game week 3.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, all right. So plenty to talk about from Palace. You guys are also mentioning that the new guy, Brian, I think his name's Brian. He came on. He was left back for Fulham. And actually that freed up Sessegnon to be on the left-hand side of that front three. And Sessegnon was actually pretty involved with a lot of the attacks. He was playing in and around Mitrovic quite nicely, actually.
Bearing in mind that we were worried that he was going to play much more defensively.
Yeah, he seems to be out of position now as a forward rather than a defender, right?
Absolutely. So I think he is one to put back on the radar now,
yes.
Sessegnon. Now that we know, and that's what we were waiting for. We were waiting for game week 1 with Sessegnon in order to see where is he going to play. Now we know where he's going to play. He looks like he'll be a good fantasy asset. Okay.
Joe Findley-Baddow is saying PVA keeping Palace's defence glued together.
Ah, you're funny, Joe.
You get a wooden spoon for that, Joe. That's absolutely awful.
Oh, don't have to deliver it personally to him. He's only down the road.
Why don't we segue nicely then into Watford since Joe's here? Watford 2, Everton... Sorry, no, not that one. Watford 2, Brighton 0. Actually didn't watch the game. Couldn't stay awake for the highlights on Match of the Day last night. I was so knackered.
We had a race to run this morning. We can't stay awake till that late.
Was there that much to talk about outside of Pereira? I mean, Holebas also got 2 assists that game, which went massively under the radar.
I know. I
mean, there wasn't a lot of talk on Twitter about Holebas, but a goal, 2 assists, he's up in Mendy territory.
But that's because I think nobody's got him. But, nobody got Holebas, did they, for the start of the season? I didn't see any drafts with him in.
No.
His ownership is in the gutter, bless him. And then he's come out with 2 assists. Now, Watford, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because I think they've got quite a difficult fixture next. I can't think who it is.
Let's have a look at what Watford's fixtures look like next. So Watford have got... so they play Brighton, Burnley away. That is 0-0 written all over it, isn't it? I don't know. Burnley looked a little bit uninspiring today. And then Palace at home, and then it gets a lot harder for them. Tottenham and United at home. 3 home games in a row. Look at that for Watford.
Well, that's because we should have been the away game, but they agreed to swap.
Okay.
Thank you, Watford.
Pereira, like him, don't like him, in bandwagon?
Don't really know enough about him, but I feel like he might be a bandwagon.
I think from what I've seen, he feels like he's the new creative and attacking force now that Richarlison's gone in that Watford team. Grazia came out after the game, as I said before, can't allow him to go to Torino. They need him, right? Looks like the most creative player. Got to stick with him. Do I really want to jump on a Watford player like that? I don't know.
How much is he?
I need to watch Match of the Day 2 tonight and see what Watford actually look like.
Oh, I'm sure we will be.
We will be watching that. Given the Liverpool result, we'll be watching that. Huddersfield 0, Chelsea 3. Talk to me about your thoughts on the Chelsea performance. This midfield 3 of Kante and Jorginho. Kovacic not there. I think Fabregas played instead, but Kante and Jorginho looked pretty nice together, I thought, actually. And the goal for Pedro. Morata also not playing too badly. So what do you make of Chelsea? I thought they quietly went about their business very, very well.
I was pleasantly surprised by Chelsea this game. I think they've had a nice introduction. Noting this nastily if we've got any Huddersfield fans watching, but you couldn't really have got much nicer fixture for your opening game, could you? Particularly off the back of the loss to City the week before in the Community Shield. I thought Kante, I was a bit surprised to see up there getting a goal.
I think he was a bit surprised to be up there, wasn't he? He was a bit like, what am I doing here?
He was a little bit.
Nice finish though, wasn't it?
Yeah. What I thought was interesting is that, Alonso is kind of, by me, but by a lot of the FPL community, had been kind of written off this season on the basis that Chelsea were going to play in a different formation and that would prevent him having the same kind of attacking presence that he has in the past. But still popped up with an assisted 11 points in this game, which,
he didn't, and again, the same in the Charity Shield, he didn't look as if he was bombing on quite so much, but it's almost in his nature to get forward. And he just found himself, maybe against his manager's wishes a little, but just found himself in those positions.
And I think, it's tough, isn't it, with players like Alonso, because given that the manager wants to play in a slightly different way, he's in the same price bracket as the likes of, Mendy and those players who have license to go forward in a way that maybe Alonso doesn't. Doesn't mean that he won't get the assist, but does it just mean that they might be more limited this season? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So Pranoy is saying next game Morata out. Definitely a few of you guys. After I said that Morata had a good game, a lot of people saying that he didn't actually. So I probably need to go back and look at those highlights a little bit. I think there seems to be a lot of negativity around Morata right now. I still think off the ball, there's not that many better forwards in the league. He does do a lot of work. He does move a lot. He does create space for those other guys. A little bit. I don't think he's as effective as Firmino.
Well, not many people are.
But the Willians and the Hazards and I think I got another thing wrong. It was Barkley, not Fabregas, that played.
It was Barkley, yeah.
So for those guys that need that space, I do think Morata, I like him. If you watch him when he hasn't got the ball, I do still like Morata. But nevertheless, you guys are saying he was guff, so I'll take your word for it. We won't mention him anymore.
But yeah, you look at the rest of the team. I know Hazard didn't start, did he? Came on, got an assist.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen every week. Hazard, if you've got Hazard, you stick. You don't get off that. Although they have got Arsenal next, but even so, Arsenal I thought definitely looked fallible today. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. Jorginho. Always nice to score a goal on your Premier League debut.
Cool as you like that penalty, wasn't it? Is he a bandwagon then, 5.0?
Probably.
I think he could be, couldn't he? I mean, I don't think he's on penalty. I think Hazard's on penalties, right? When Hazard comes back in, right? But Hazard wasn't on the pitch, so Jorginho's second in line. So if worse comes to worse for Chelsea fans and Hazard leaves, then all of a sudden Jorginho does become much more of a bandwagon, being on penalties at 5.0 in the same way that Neves might be at Wolves. But for now, I'm not necessarily thinking that Jorginho is front and centre in my thinking. I must admit, although I might be wrong about that.
For me, with Chelsea, and I know we get a lot of Chelsea fans watching, and it's just for me, there isn't a standout pick in the Chelsea team, apart from Hazard, but then Hazard is competing with so many other really good players in that price bracket in terms of FPL picks, that for me, there's not a Chelsea player at the moment that's like, pick me. There's not one that's obvious.
Pedro? 6.5? Got the goal?
Even there...
Good pre-season form?
Yes, but there's so many others that I think, I quite fancy you or you. Pedro, he's not the standout one that I kind of think, that's my go-to.
And I think back to being a rotation risk, because I think we thought there was going to be a few players leaving, Pedro would come and step in. As it happens... he's a bit of a rotation risk with Willian and some of the others being there. Having said that,
Fabregas.
He does suit Sarri's style of play. We said this before in our pre-season reviews. He does suit it, and he got the goal. All right, they were 2-0 down, and Huddersfield are trying to press for a goal, but you've got to take him, and Pedro took it well, I thought.
Yeah,
so one for the watch list, one for the radar. I do
agree, and I think for me, Chelsea look much better than I thought that they were going to. So they are definitely a team to watch in terms of their FPL assets, for sure.
So let's have a look. Arsenal next, so a bit more of a test for them. Then Newcastle, Bournemouth and Cardiff. So
and I think
after that Arsenal game, it's potentially worth then getting on somebody.
I think so, and I also think that Arsenal game will be that will show a bit more about what Chelsea are made of. Huddersfield, it's the opening game of the season, so that's always a challenge, but it's Huddersfield at the end of the day. Chelsea should comfortably beat Huddersfield. They shouldn't comfortably beat Arsenal, so let's see what happens.
Okay, let's get to Anfield then. Liverpool 4, West Ham 0. A thoroughly professional performance, I thought, by Liverpool. Looked very, very good. And outside of, Mane clearly, Salah got off the mark straight away, which is great. Firmino got the assist, so would have liked a bit more from Firmino.
And probably should have had a bit more, to be honest.
Robertson come in, which again is, given what we've seen last season, not a shock. So I don't think we're looking at that 4-0 and going, well, that's amazing. There's a load of assets there that I didn't think were going to perform. The one I would like to point out is Naby Keita. I thought Keita was what a debut. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, Keita.
Mm-hmm.
Real dynamic midfielder, comfortable on the ball, looked as if he played Premier League for years and years already. Do you think he's an FPL asset at 7.5?
I don't know. I don't know.
We need to see a bit more, don't we? He could be, couldn't he? But I'm not sure yet.
I thought he was fantastic today. From a neutral point of view, watching that game, I thought that he had a fantastic game. I thought Liverpool were just generally fantastic, actually. It was annoying. However, I thought he was great. I thought you could see what all the fuss was about. Why you've waited so long for him to come and join you now.
I was very excited when we signed him, and we obviously had to wait a year to get him. So yeah.
I don't know. I just worry that he's going to be the sort of fantasy player that just assists the assist and is
in a kind of Modric-y style way.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's one I'm watching for sure. But the trouble with Liverpool, and I said this to Aid and a couple of others on Instagram earlier, is that I feel like I want about 5 Liverpool players and I can only have 3.
What slots? Yeah.
Yeah. So
because even Trent Alexander-Arnold got the start, looks all right. Hit a free kick that
was unbelievable.
Fabianski pulled off a great save. So again, he could be on direct free kick. So another one you want from Liverpool potentially.
When you look at it and you think, well, I've got Salah, I've got Robertson, and I've got Firmino. I'd like Mane. I probably would quite like Trent Alexander as well because he's just a nice. He's a nice cheap Liverpool defender and he's on direct free kicks and before you know it you think actually it's really tough, isn't it? So for me, Keita would have to do something amazing in order for me to pick him.
So Notorious Nerd is saying Keita should be nailed and better than Pogba. Wow, okay, interesting.
What, as a fantasy asset or is there?
Potentially, I think that's well. Let's see. I mean, I still think fantasy-wise, Pogba. I mean, if he's got the penalties as well, I mean, there's a bit more there, isn't there? But Keita, it could be. We need to see a bit more.
Don't you think that there are better Liverpool players to pick?
Well, given what given what you just said about you've got to fill those 3 Liverpool slots, right? Is one of them Keita right now? It's probably not because it's one of the defenders. It's either Trent or Robertson. If you've got Van Dijk, I think no points today, but still looks.
Well, he got 6.
He's got 6. Even Alisson got some bonus points. If you've got Alisson, you probably keep him. Midfield wise, Salah, Mane kind of pick themselves, and up front, if you've got some space left, then Firmino looks good. Is there space for Keita right now? There's not, but could there be in the future? Yes, keep an eye on this kid. He looks really, really good indeed. Spencer Lee is saying Milner took the corner, so yeah, he's another one that you'd like to have a look at. Milner again, all over the place. The guy's a machine.
But as you and you quite rightly said during the game, you were like, they were talking, weren't they, about what happens when Jordan Henderson comes back, and you were like, well, yeah, but what happens when Fabinho's
got to come back? Yes, absolutely.
So who's losing out for these players? Henderson's the captain. He's going to play, right?
You'd think so.
Let's see. Let's see with Liverpool.
A word on Arnautovic. Cut a bit of a frustrated figure, didn't he, really?
Arnautovic, yes.
I thought he did all right. He could. I think he sort of saw
annoyed
fairly early on that he's going to get more joy out of Joe Gomez than he was Virgil van Dijk. So he kind of stuck to Gomez, and Gomez made I think he did all right, actually. There's a couple of iffy moments where Arnautovic got the better of him, but all in all, a bit of a frustrating day for Arnie, actually, and got replaced by Yarmolenko, didn't he, sort of halfway through the second half. If you're on Arnie, I don't think you necessarily need to raise transfer or knee-jerk him out, but it's it was a bit disappointing today, to say the least.
For me, it was a little bit like we worried for West Ham, that when you get all of these signings in one big hit, do they immediately gel together? Do they immediately kind of play in the way that you expect that they will be able to do. And I feel like we got a bit of a kind of a not quite there West Ham. Like they probably needed a few more weeks together on the back of all of these transfers.
I think you're right. It takes time to gel, doesn't it? There's no doubt about it.
You know, so if you've got Arnie as an FPL asset, I wouldn't be getting off of him. I thought, like, you were quite right with what you said. He did cut a frustrated figure today. But as West Ham bed in, we will see Arnie getting fantasy points. There is no doubt about that.
Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying about Arnie. So Will Hugel, thanks Will, he's saying Arnie will easily score against Bournemouth. Interesting. So Bournemouth clean sheet. Historically not that great Bournemouth at the back last year, so you could see Arnie maybe bossing it around a little bit. Conrad is saying Arnie won't start up top week in, week out.
No, that's true.
You got to think that. I mean, Chicharito come on, didn't he? Yarmolenko is there as well now. Andy Carroll at some stage will come back from injury, I guess. You've got to think that Arnie's probably not going to be up there all the time as a sort of pick, you know.
But he will be coming out of midfield into attacking positions.
Yeah, he's always going to be attacking for sure. I mean, Hannah's saying West Ham will find it a lot easier next few matches. Hard to do much with limited possession against Liverpool. Arnie will be fine.
Hannah's right.
Yeah, I don't think there's any. I like that, Hannah. I don't think there's any reason to sort of go crazy on it. And you guys, Conrad Shashank, absolutely saying Lucas Perez is there as well now. So you're right. There's
options.
Lots of options now for West Ham up top, and lots of options for.
But don't rage transfer him. There's no need.
I don't think so.
He'll be all right.
I don't think so. And then we've spoken a little bit about Arsenal and City already, but just give me your thoughts on that. Clearly, Mendy now. I mean, at 6.0, looks like he could be the new Alonso for this year. I mean, this guy was absolutely bombing up and down that left wing, wasn't he? He was so forward thinking in there, and the City shape was really, really nice actually. Every time that he went forward, you could see the midfielders just sort of covering for him. Fernandinho sort of just covering. John Stones just, the centre half's just giving a little bit of space. I think he looks really, really good. Nothing to dislike about Mendy's performance there. 2 assists. The first one's flaky, right? Because Sterling he passes it to Sterling, and it's a great goal by Sterling. But the second one, he's in that forward position, gets to the byline, picks out Bernardo Silva. Nothing to dislike, Mendy, from an FPL perspective. Got to have him, I think.
Annoying. Very annoying.
Next 6 games, City could easily keep 6 clean sheets.
Right, yes. Mendy.
I'm only saying it like this because I've got him and you haven't. That's why.
So I've got Edison. So right, my issue here is what I really want is
Shashank, Mendy, dream player. There we go.
I agree.
Pranoy, Mendy is a 6 million set and forget. He plays like a machine.
I totally agree with everything.
I'm winding you up.
Everything that you have all said, I totally agree with. My thinking is this.
Dermot, Mendy needs to be in everyone's... Sorry, no, go on.
You're annoying. So at the moment, I've obviously got Edison and Aguero. So I've got one City spot available. It could easily go to Mendy. That's not an issue. My issue is that actually what I really want to get Sterling, and I've got to find a way to make that work.
It's a lot of money.
I know that it's a lot of money, but I just feel like Sterling is the pick at the moment.
Okay.
And at some stage I'm losing Aguero to get Kane, so I need more City coverage, and I feel like I want Sterling. I'm not going to do anything yet, so we'll see what happens in game week 2. For me, Mendy. Look, is Mendy going to get? What did he get? 16 or something?
15
this week, every week.
Possibly.
Potentially, yes.
Possibly.
Potentially, yeah.
Next 6 fixtures are unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've got Edison and Aguero. Potentially, he's going to. So I do have to have that real consideration as to do I just bite the bullet and get Mendy as well?
Okay. We have to pause there for a second because Byrie Beckford has just super chatted £5. So Byrie, thank you so much for that. That's very, very kind of you.
Obviously liked you winding me up about...
Wind Sam up more is basically what that means. So Byrie, thank you for doing that. Very, very kind of you. We've said before, Super Chat is available on the live chat. Absolutely not a prerequisite for being here. But if you want a Super Chat, obviously very, very happy to receive those. So Byrie, thank you for supporting the channel. Very, very kind of you.
The other thing is, who do I get rid of to get Mendy?
It's a tricky one.
I mean, do I get rid of Robertson?
You don't get rid of him. You probably don't get rid of PVA.
So what do I do?
Well, I mean, we've already discussed the merits of taking money out of the forwards and putting it in the defence today. I mean,
but then I'm going to get Kane.
You cannot have them all. You cannot have them all.
And this is the problem with FPL this season, and this is why this season of FPL is going to be brilliant.
I think it's going to be great. I genuinely think there's so many options. I mean, the fact that we've got 3/4 4.0s that are playing
100%.
means that suddenly, I mean, every single year, what I try and do is I get a 4.0 that's never going to play. I try and get 2 4.5s that rotate, and then I look at the rest of my defence and go and be as frugal as I can, frankly, in defence.
I don't think you can be frugal this year with defenders.
You can't. Yeah, I think this year in defenders, you've got to go for it. Maybe 3 big ones and 2 little ones.
I think so.
I feel like countdown. 3 big numbers, 2 little ones. 2 little ones in, and one Bissaka's one of them. Bednarak didn't play today for Southampton, by the way.
But
you've
Peltier
got Peltier
did. Bennett played for Wolves.
The kid Hamer played in goal, so he's a 4.0. I think, who did he play for? Huddersfield, maybe? I don't know, but he's a 4.0 goalkeeper who plays. So listen, there's lots and lots of options now.
That's interesting, because I've got a 4.0 goalkeeper who doesn't play at the moment as my backup for Edison.
Well, there you go.
So maybe I should swap.
Absolutely, cool. All right, so anything else to say about the fixtures? We are almost out of time in terms of fixtures. We need to move on to things like wooden spoons and stuff. How else, or what else do you want to talk about from this game week of fixtures? It's good, right? Cracking opening weekend. Brilliant. Loved it.
I've got nothing else to say other than...
So good.
It's just brilliant.
Absolutely great. And 2 good results for Spurs and for Liverpool. So that always helps, doesn't it, dear?
Yes, dear.
Always helps. That always helps.
Dear.
Always helps. Right, so let's talk about... Let's see if the game has updated.
If it hasn't, we'll do polls first.
Yes, we'll give it like 30 extra seconds to do that by doing the game. I think it has. It has. So, 78. Sam from FPLFamily, White Hart Home. I like that, by the way.
Yeah, well, you came up with it. That's why you like it.
Did I?
You always name my team.
Of course I did. Yeah, of course I did.
You name my team every year because I go, I can't think of anything funny, and then you're like that I like, and you were like, well, what do you want? I was like, something about going home, and you were like, we'll just call it White Hart Home.
All right.
Done.
So, out of 4.8 million players, 300k. Top 300k. Very, very solid start indeed.
That's all right.
Very, very
That's the
solid
best start I've had, so that's fine. We'll
very
take
good,
it.
very good. I'm hoping the leagues are going to be updated in a second as well.
What about you? You must be 100,000 above me, I reckon.
Let's have a gander.
Maybe 200,000 above me.
Hopefully
9
this
points.
doesn't screw up if I refresh. 108k. Yeah, very happy with that.
200,000 above me.
Very, very happy with that. So that's 2 solid starts, I think. So guys, that's 2 solid starts. I think while we're here, it would make sense to do the poll that is appropriate for game week 1 points. Guys, so if you haven't hit the little I and checked out the polls yet, go and check out the poll that says, what are your points currently for game week 1? Because I want to get a feel from the community.
Did I hear that Richie's over 100 this week?
Who is?
Vinyl Richie.
Oh, Vinyl Richie had an absolute stormer, I think.
Yeah,
an absolute stormer.
I think I heard a rumour that he was over 100.
So game week 1 points, where are we? So what was I, an 80? Oh, so I'm in the top category. Okay, so no one under 40, so that's great.
Ooh,
no one under 55.
Somebody with a decent point score.
That's actually very, very good. I mean, so 10% of people in 56 to 70, and that's still pretty solid, is it not? I mean, what's the average? Average points is 53.
I tell you what, you're going to be pretty gutted
good
if you've got 56 points and you get wooden spoon.
This is a bit of a win for not just the Twitter community, but for the FPL family community. Guys, very, very good. 56 to 70, 10%. 71 to 85, 39%. 86 plus, 49%.
Well done, family.
Guys, that's serious. So over half of you are in the top 108,000. So about where I am, if not better.
I'll tell you what, the family's done well.
So I'll tell you what it is. Tuning in to FPL Family Sunday night.
Do you know why it is? It's because we're experts now.
Oh, don't give me that nonsense. You're a nut and I'm a fan. There's no experts about it. Right, so 108k. Very happy with that. I can see a few scores going in here. Zach's Life 92. Awesome, mate. Well done. FPL Today's here. JNO, welcome. FPL Today is in. Byrie Beckford, 97 points this game week. Triple Liverpool got me 43 points.
Lovely. Oof. That's what you want from your Liverpool players.
Villa 30, rank of 10k, 333. Brilliant. Mervyn Howe, game week rank 218k. Nice. Leo, 84 for me. Karthik, 87. Nice.
Guys.
Joe Finley Badder, 96 points, Joe.
Watford have won and he's got 96.
Joe, did you have Pereira? I think he did.
Joe's having the weekend of his life.
FPL Today, 80 for me as I change Richarlison, Zaha and Mane. Ooh, that's going to sting, Jay. That's going to sting. Dan Norman, 89. Very good. George Page, 65. 13 on the bench. Not a nightmare. What a nightmare. Rahul Bajaj, 107.
Lovely.
Some nice scores, guys.
Nice.
Some absolutely brilliant scores. Right, let's see and hope and cross our fingers that we've got the game week rank up here, which is great. Let's see if we can go to the leagues.
They don't know that they're up to date.
Not up to date, which is a bit of a bummer, isn't it, to say the least. Okay, well, listen, we'll have to do an update on Twitter. Let's see who could be.
The good thing is that all of those people that are in our regulars league are on Twitter. So you will be able to make your announcement, because that's the only way they could get the code from you on Twitter or me on Instagram.
So let's see who is in the danger zone then.
Oh, somebody just said 42, didn't they, on the live chat? Did I say
42 potentially? But you've got to be in the live streamers league. So let's have a look. Simon Gregory, who I guess is Greg's. I guess he was on 16, but shot up to 70. So
lots of players from today.
Not looking too bad there. Robertson, Salah, Silva, Mendy. So I would hazard a guess and say 70 is not going to be.
That's not going to be wooden spoon territory.
That's not either. That's not either. We're going to just check the bottom 5. I hope that they do this a bit quicker. Leo.
That's not bottom. That's not bottom either.
84. So you guys that had a terrible Saturday have all had brilliant Sundays, which I guess makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Cy Robertson, let's check him out. 70.
That's not going to be the bottom.
So that's pretty good. What we're going to do is we're going to do this update on Twitter, I think. And then we're going to announce on Twitter who wins.
I'll pop it on Instagram and we'll... Oh, 58. Now that might be.
So Lee Barn, if you're in Lee, that could be a bit of a challenging one. That one, 1.6 game week rank, gone hard on United with Sanchez and Fred. And Rashford, triple United. Yikes. Okay, so that could be one. But guys, listen, what we're going to do, because the leagues aren't updated, I'm hoping that is a bit of a game week 1 thing, actually, and actually they're going to be far better for next week. So having said that, look, if you look at FPLFamily though, look at game week, that's actually updated, isn't it? Let's just go back in 2 seconds. Hold the line, caller. Live stream regulars.
To do a little dance or something.
So live stream regulars hasn't updated, but FPLFamily has.
So they must be doing them at the moment.
So we got a poorly timed stream here. That's the thing, isn't it? Hopefully they're going to do this a bit quicker for next time. Let's see who's at the bottom of this. We've got loads of people. We're going to be scrolling through for ages, aren't we? Guys, what we're going to do, we are going to check out in about 15-20 minutes time. I'm sure these are going to be updated. What we're going to do is check out who is bottom. Who's going to be bottom of the live stream regulars league. I'm pretty sure I'm going to know who that is. I'm pretty sure I'm going to know who that Twitter handle is going to be. But what I will do is I will post it on Twitter. And if you see who it is and you know their Twitter handle, because I don't, then please... at them, DM me, let me know who it is, because I want to give out these wooden spoons. I've gone out and bought 38 wooden spoons, guys, and I've got to send them out. We've got to get them out there, haven't we?
Yeah, and I'll put it on Instagram and we'll put it on our Facebook page as well. And we'll also re-mention it again on Thursday evening. Are we coming on Thursday evening or Wednesday evening?
That's a good point. We could do in our midweek one. We could do it then, couldn't we? If it's not updated in time.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So you're not going to put it on Twitter today?
Yeah. Once it's updated, we'll put it on there.
But we'll talk about it again on Wednesday.
But if whoever it is that wins doesn't want to come forward, then we will. It'll be a name and shame. It'll be a name and shame on.
Because that's what family does, right?
Because that's what family does. Absolutely right. I just want to give a shout out. So just before I was coming on, I was speaking to Jeff Holt, who was moderating for us tonight on FPLFamily. Jeff, thank you very much for stepping in and doing that.
The legend.
And if any of you other live stream regulars fancy doing some moderating for us, DM me on Twitter, let me know, send me a message, and we can hook you up with that. The more mods, the better, because poor old Jeff, he can't come on every night, you know. So if you guys want to do that, send me a DM.
I think Jeff will be on every night.
That's why I wanted him to be a mod, because he is around most times, isn't he? I mean, he's around most streams.
I don't think Jeff's ever missed one.
Absolutely fantastic. But Jeff's wife, I don't know if you spotted this.
Maria.
So Jeff's wife, Maria, got 88 points this week.
Yeah, because Jeff's wife
88 points.
She had the Bernardo to Mendy to Bernardo thing going on as well.
Superb. So 88 points. Good news for Maria, she's got 88 points. The bad news, Maria, is that the wooden spoon is not happening this week. Not on 88 points.
I think Jeff was maybe hoping that Maria might win a wooden spoon. But she's actually done better than Jeff this week.
She's done better than Jeff. Yeah. Up your game.
Come on,
Jeff. Come on. So with that, guys, we will update the leagues on Twitter. We'll do all that stuff on our other social media. In case you are not following us on Twitter, here it is. This is our Twitter, @FPLFamily, so go and follow us on there. What have we got to do? We've got to do the polls.
And if you are a regular on our streams and you're not in our regulars league, give Lee a DM on Twitter.
Absolutely, yeah. And we'll get you sorted out on that as well.
Because that's the only way to get one of these beauties.
Let's get your view on this then, Sam. So, biggest bandwagon for Game Week 2, Richarlison, Mendy, Neves, Pereira, Pogba. And before you answer, guys, whoever I've missed out of that 5, get on the live chat now and tell me who is going to be your if it's not one of those 5, who's the biggest bandwagon for Game Week 2? So who do you think?
So for me, out of those, I think it will be Neves, but I think that's a mistake because if you look at the fixtures, it's tough. They've got.
You think the
fixtures.
Casuals will flock to Neves? He's quite highly owned already, Neves.
I think Neves is going up in price again tonight.
So we go Neves. Okay. So we didn't cover the. We must have missed the Wolves game because I did want to talk about Neves real quickly because we are massively out of time. Neves, good, bad, indifferent. What's your view? Fixtures suggest maybe holding off for a bit.
Yeah. So what I would very quickly say about him is he is on the set pieces that we were expecting him to be, but what I wasn't expecting is that Neves would be as attacking as he was.
Do you think that's because Everton had 10 men and they were pushing?
Maybe yes, and therefore I think it's worth watching and waiting on Neves. I know lots of people are wanting to get on him tonight because he's going up in value, but for me it's definitely a watching brief because Wolves' fixtures are not great.
There's an outrageous stat out there that says something like Neves had 6 touches in the box all last season in the Championship. Last season. Now, I hope I got that right because it sounds outrageous, but I think I remember somebody on Twitter telling me that before I come on.
Yeah.
So he does not get in those goal-scoring positions. All his goals are worldies, or they're worldy assists like we saw at the weekend. However, you are spot on. Penalties, free kicks. Looks, I think, a cracking player. Is he an FPL asset? Not sure, wait and see. But he looks like a proper player. Biggest bandwagon for Game Week 2, 32% of you saying Neves and Richarlison. Okay, so one of those two. Both look pretty good. Mendy, 25%. Pereira, 5%. Pogba, 4%. I expected a bit more for Pogba, you know. Maybe it's the price, right?
Yeah.
That bit more expensive,
isn't it?
so.
I think generally speaking, the bandwagons are the cheaper players because you can afford to just impulse them in. Whereas with the likes of Pogba and... that they take a little bit more thinking about, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So Aid is saying Lokonka Neves scored 6 goals outside the box. He's the new Millie. Vinyl Richie, this year's Millie. Yeah, he absolutely could be, couldn't he? I mean, are we overthinking it a bit? 5 million penalties for Wolves, free kicks. It's good value, right?
The thing is, Miljokovic was such a good pick last season because Palace got a hell of a lot of penalties, didn't they? Whereas, are Wolves going to get that many penalties?
Possibly.
Who knows?
They're very attacking.
They are, but they've got really tough fixtures. So what I'm saying is just put the stabilisers back on a little bit, you know. Yeah,
the next 3 look tough for them, don't they?
They do.
Actually look tough. Guys, I think, so listen, that is 1 hour 16. So I think we, again, broke the records. We're up into the 260 sort of watchers. Yes, absolutely, about the 260 level. So guys, thank you for tuning in. This is getting better and better every week. Absolutely brilliant.
You've got about 15 minutes now to go make yourself a cup of tea and then head over and watch Andy.
I think he's on tonight.
9:30 Andy's on.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
He's tweeted about it, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, how would you know you're not on Twitter?
Because he's on Instagram.
Oh, is he really? Mm-hmm. Have you got more followers than Andy on Insta?
I doubt it. I absolutely doubt that. Would you like me to have a look?
Have a look. I want to see if you've got more
There's no chance.
followers.
I've got more,
because I don't think he's big on Insta. He's pretty big on Twitter, right?
No, he's not.
He's big
not.
on Insta.
He doesn't post that much on Instagram. Let's talk FPL.
So just while Sam's doing that, guys, thank you for joining us.
We are very close. He's got 617, and how many have I got?
You're all excited now, aren't you?
And I've got 605. Right, I need 12 of you to join Instagram and come and follow me.
Head over to our Instagram, guys. Get on to @FPLFamily on Instagram. Go and hit that follow button. Get Sam above 617 so I can tweet Andy tonight and say, get your Instagram game together. That's what I want to do. Also follow us on Twitter @FPLFamily. Search for FPL Family on Facebook, and you can find our Facebook page, which has got how many likes now?
Oh God knows, not very
70
many.
70 odd, which is very good for something that's got no content and been there for 2 days. But that will change, guys. It will be much better.
I will be better on Facebook, I promise.
We will be better.
I'm going to post my team.
And if you're not subscribed to us already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. If you like the video tonight, and we will see you in the middle of next week. We don't know yet. We've got to go Wednesday or Thursday. Probably Thursday, I would say. Because Wednesday, we've got an incredibly busy day at Peppa Pig World, would you believe? We're going to Peppa Pig World on Wednesday, which I am absolutely buzzing for. No, I am. And so we'll see what time we get back from that. But it's probably going to be Thursday, I would say. But keep in touch with us on Twitter and we will let you know. We will let you know, probably Thursday. Guys, well done in Game Week 1. Most of you in the top 100k based on the polls tonight. So that is absolutely a brilliant start for the FPL family community in Game Week 1.
Family day.
Very, very good. Don't go marching into those bandwagons, guys. Hold back those transfers and just think about who you're getting in. And you don't even. You're all very formidable and experienced FPL managers, so you don't need me to tell you to hold your horses on those transfers. But let's see what information comes out in the next couple of days. Let's see what the managers start to say about their teams for Game Week 2. And we will see you next Thursday, probably. Good night, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.